All right, well, breaking news. I'm being told there is no Who Said It today. So Roberto's the gift that truly keeps on giving. All right, let's get some ticket texts in the mix. We'll get your phone calls. I'm asking, what stage of concern are you at with the Lions? Is it just a speed bump? No problem. There was a little bit of a pothole. Are we at the check engine light stage where, look, you got to address it. You got to get a little service.
Yeah.
Or are you just junking the car on the side of the road?
Now, I don't think we hit the junk car yet, but if you stick a piece of tape over that check engine light thinking it's just going to make it go away, that's going to be a problem. Too many turnovers in the last, ever since, like I said, the Ravens game. Last 4 games, you've gotten away with it because you play some bad teams. You got every 4th down call in that Chargers game. There's a problem there.
Yeah, the turnovers have to stop. And Rico, we were talking about it during break, Mike, and it's like, when you're winning, when you lose a game, everything you do is magnified, right? You go in the next day.
Use the language you use, TJ.
No, we can't use that, but it's,
yes,
hey,
do that.
Your footwork was terrible. Your hand placement's terrible. The step is terrible. This is terrible. This is bad. This sucked, but when you do the same things, but you win, it's like, hey, let's clean this up a little bit. It's a different vibe to it. You don't put as big as an emphasis on it because you're winning, right? And that's the cure-all. So I think, yes, when you do have to pick that rug up and sweep everything out, the first thing you see now coming into the meeting on Monday, probably 19 stickers around the whole building, ball security. We have to take care of the football. And then it translates to practice. Every single drill you're doing, there's an emphasis on ball security and punching at the ball, ripping it out. You know what I mean? So it's just different when it finally catches up to you and you lose. You're able to put a giant emphasis on those type of things rather than if you just keep doing it but you're winning. You don't really tend to put that under a magnifying glass as you should. So that's why I think that I'm at the kind of pothole stage where, yes, they've hit a couple bumps in the road, but I think that this break they've had over the last 8 days now since they played on Thanksgiving, I know that this team is just different. I think they are. I think they're able to finally get over this little kind of rut that they've hit. They've gotten over the speed bump, but now they need to go out and prove it. But I'm with you. I hold the right to change that. If they go out this weekend against the Saints and fumble up a couple more balls and Jared Goff makes a couple more bad passes and you're still turning the ball over, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be majorly concerned. But I don't see that happening because I think they're going to figure it out. And I think that they've proven that to us over the last, like I said, probably 22 games.
All right, Rico, go ahead. Let's get to the phone, see what the people have to say. We get some ticket texts as well.
All right, let's go to Andre. You're on 97.1.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Speed bump, all right? Like you said, it started with the Baltimore game. They played the Raiders. Again, to your point, god-awful. But they were able to pull out everything after that Raiders game. And if we were going to have an issue, it's better that it happened on a short week Thanksgiving Day game against the Pack. It's not going to matter later on in the division. And you'd rather have it happen now than later on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with it. I'm pushing forward. Ain't no issue. Like you said, though, if against New Orleans this weekend, if they go in there and really bomb that up, okay, well, now we can start to panic logically.
All right. Appreciate the phone call. Don't know where you were calling from, but
he was actually he was skiing down the slopes.
Sounded like he was scuba diving somewhere.
My God,
no big deal for him. And I understand. I just see problems. So David, where are you at with this?
I am at the I'm at the check engine light, almost to the point to where I'm like, you know what, I may need to get a new car. I'm just right there at the edge at the shop saying, maybe I'm thinking about a new car is what I'm doing. But I'm definitely check engine
the expense of service
exactly.
versus just starting over.
The defense was already a question mark for me, and then you include the turnovers the last couple of weeks with this team. It almost feels like the solid rock of the offense that it was for this team is crumbling a little bit.
No.
And that's a concern, major concern. If the defense doesn't get better, the offense can't get worse.
Yeah, I was at the speed bump phase when Chicago. I was like, okay, you know what? They'll fix this. They got Green Bay coming in. Green Bay's on a short week. You're on a short week. We'll be good. That's Jordan Love, okay? That ain't Aaron Rodgers in his prime. You'll beat the Packers. And then I'm sitting there the whole time watching this game like, you've got to be kidding me. Is this really happening? Like I said, we were talking about it in the break. The touchdown to Jaden Reed was like, did he just throw that pass? Like, wow, that's Jordan Love. But then again, you're right. He may have been throwing to Watson and overthrew Watson and just happened to hit Reed and got lucky.
Yeah.
But
made some good throws in that game. And look, I think with how bad it felt like the defense was, Mike, we talked about this last Friday too, I think both of us said we attribute probably 15 points on the defense. I mean, you fumbled for a touchdown. You fumbled again. You faked a punt at your own 20. I mean, you're throwing your defense in a real bind there. So with how bad it felt, it still felt like they played winning football at the end of the day.
But see,
you know what I mean?
TJ, that's where I'm saying it's check engine. Because now you got your coaches playing desperate, and you don't have to play desperate. You didn't have to do those things against Green Bay, but they're feeling it too, like something's wrong here. So maybe if we do this fake punt, it'll jumpstart the team. Maybe if we do this, and they're playing out of character.
Yeah, which I think you were trying to do for the offense because the offense was just so stagnant and terrible. But I go back to kind of this defense, and we all know what they are, guys. They're not any world beaters. Let's not fool ourselves. I think of these Patriot teams, not the early 2000s, mid 2000s when they had a bunch of all Hall of Fame guys on defense, but more of like the 2013, 2014, 2016 teams. Like they did not have anybody that great on defense. They had a couple good players, but they weren't a stout, San Fran defense, a Philly defense, a defense that teams feared, but they played good defense in the red zone. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, we'll give you anything you want from the 20 to the 20, but you get inside that red zone, that's our time, right? Well, you ain't scoring touchdowns on us. That's kind of how I feel like this defense has to play, where we look, we know that other teams, Olave is going to have some good catches this week over the middle and go for 30, 40 yards if he plays. Other guys, Taysom Hill might have a play where, he's in the Wildcat and he runs for 30 yards, right? But as long as you can, just kind of lock it down in the red zone and keep teams to kicking field goals, that's how you win games. So I just kind of think that maybe there's some comparison there of guys that you're not going to get, 6 sacks and a bunch of turnovers on defense and just have a bunch of ball hawk type of guys. But if you can keep them out of the end zone, if you can get one turnover, if you can keep the Saints, other teams to kicking field goals, that's kind of your recipe for me for this defense to keep giving themselves a chance to win these games.
Well, TJ, I'm sorry, Mike, but he just mentioned something. Please. He mentioned something there, and there was a comment here with Aaron Glenn at his press conference. He talked about, the pressure and all this stuff, other stuff. Well, he basically called out Josh Paschal, basically saying, we need more from him. We need more from him in the pass rush. We need more from him because we drafted him in the second round. Yeah. What was your thoughts on Aaron Glenn basically calling him out there?
There's been a couple instances this week alone of guys getting kind of called out. I didn't. That's the first time I heard of the Paschal.
You know what, TJ? Hold on. TJ, give us your thoughts next.
Oh, man, there we go.
Wow.
All-time tease.
Hey, TJ, how does it feel?
Hey, that's why
he does it to me all the time.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks, Mike.
Hey, do you want to learn how to do ridiculous teases like me? Hi, I'm RL Beard for Specs. Have you ever thought about a career in crime? All right. That's still the greatest. Oh, we're looking sexy out here. Go ahead, Donovan.